The reality with the politics of Zimbabwe at the moment is that Zimbabweans are pinning their hopes on Chiwenga, as well as the retired military generals and war veterans. Of course, also as well as a united opposition at this most crucial moment. And as Zimbabweans expect these individuals to save them, because it's a matter, it's either Zimbabweans are saved or they will continue to be led and dominated by the regime of ZANU-PF, and it will be quite difficult for Zimbabweans to breathe politically. And also, it's quite clear Emerson Mnangagwa understands that he did not come through a ballpoint and paper, unless if he has forgotten and he knows the consequences of not acting against people standing on his way at the moment. The most unifying figure amongst these individuals, it is clear that it is none other than retired General Chiwenga. And Chiwenga problem, even though Mnangagwa in terms of paper has actually dealt with Chiwenga problem, but physically Chiwenga remains. And that is the problem for him. And also, what is it that Chiwenga and other retired generals, as well as opposition, must do at this crucial moment in time? It is to act and to do so as fast as possible. I'll be demonstrating why they must do so. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, why should Chiwenga act as a matter of urgency at this crucial moment in the politics of Zimbabwe? Number one, Emerson Mnangagwa is leading in terms of paperwork. We know that paperwork in Zimbabwe does not determine issues of succession. I will continue to mention that until it gets into your mind. And I'm sure Mnangagwa understands this, and he knows that the unifying figure, although there may be other unifying figure post the retired General Chiwenga influence within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, the war veterans, we cannot deny that he commands a considerable influence at this moment, and also amongst the other circles within the opposition political party, he commands a lot of influence. People believe that at this crucial moment, he is the rightful person to lead the struggle of getting rid of Mnangagwa, but he has to act as a matter of urgency. We know that Emerson Mnangagwa plans to fire him. The plan that has been revealed by the retired General Chiwenga faction over the past few days was for Mnangagwa to dissolve the cabinet. And after dissolving the cabinet, the last person who last acted in Zimbabwe, it is Kembo Mohadi, and it was done calculatively. Already they had this plan. They knew about this before we actually knew about it. And Kembo Mohadi will act for 30 days. And within these 30 days, Mnangagwa will push for parliament to vote for his wife, that is the wife of Emerson Mnangagwa, to take over the political reins. We saw even after the release of this intelligence, Emerson Mnangagwa, acting in line with that intelligence, Parliament was quickly summoned. Remember, Parliament could have made the decision yesterday, but realized that by yesterday, he was supposed to have signed the bill. And we saw exactly that. And by the 31st of July, the wife of Emmerson Mnangagwa, should be the next president of Zimbabwe if no action is carried out. Now we will be watching with keen interest as to where he is going to dissolve his cabinet. And in simple terms, the dissolution of that cabinet is targeting one man, that is retired General Chiwenga. And Mnangagwa will allow the wife to come through, and the wife, he would act as if this was a transition, and the wife would not be compelled to put within her cabinet retired General Chiwenga. She may decide to award new faces altogether. We understand that security modalities have been prepared. That is why you saw Mnangagwa sneaking over the past months, sneaking to Beralas without announcement, going there to actually buy mercenaries, as well as also to secure trainings for the security personnel who will be responsible for maintaining peace and peace, especially not necessarily peace, who will actually go to an extent of fighting against any elements of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces that may decide to rise against Emmerson Mnangagwa. So it's a planned thing. There is a well-orchestrated plan. Now, the more, and you'll see also retired military generals are falling on a daily basis. They are actually falling. They are buried. Red carpet is rolled at the National Heroes Eka, and war veterans. Matemadanda is no longer alive, and many of them have been killed. I don't think these were normal deaths. These were assassinations, starting from 2017. How come it is happening at such alarming rate, particularly to the members of, or the former members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces? So, if Chiwenga does take time to act already, I think taking time to act, we've seen a lot of actual setbacks being recorded by his faction, and this is going to continue as long as they do not act fast. They may win this battle having lost a lot of comrades, very, very crucial comrades. I can tell you, Mnangagwa is appearing to be having the list of saying, now we've dealt with this one, we need to deal with this one. He has the list from A to Z, and guess what? The biggest fish in this list is none other than retired General Chiwenga himself, as well as also his close allies. Emmerson Mnangagwa is a heartless man. He doesn't think twice to actually come after them. So it's quite important for time to be considered. I know that they are receiving a lot of setbacks, which requires them to go back on the drawing board, plan on a new strategy. We are witnessing that. And I think as they plan going forward, it is important when they are planning not to also envisage what if we are countered? What are we going to do? I think you can tell from their delayed response ever since yesterday, there is no communication from the faction of retired General Chiwenga at the moment. And there can't be communication unless instructions are given at this particular moment, and unless meetings are actually carried out on how to respond at this very crucial moment. Of course, in terms of their intelligence, they have been ahead, but they have suffered a lot of setbacks. You know, it is as good as being able to defend, but also considering goals. Defend, but in the process considering goals not scoring when it matters, because at the moment Emmerson Mnangagwa remains by large at the helm of the politics of Zimbabwe. He's in charge of the state apparatus. As we speak at the moment, he can reshuffle, he can do as he pleases, he has the powers to dissolve the cabinet. He possesses, as much as he still has this power, he has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he is a man who cannot succumb to caution, to warnings. We've heard a lot of statements warning him, and also these statements have been also arming him. The truth should be said that these statements have been a leverage for Emmerson Mnangagwa. He did not take them as warnings, but they helped him to plan on the downfall of retired General Chiwenga, as well as also his allies. At the moment, Chiwenga still has every time to reverse this. Remember, if he decides to say, okay, we have been defeated, let's join the winning team, still Emmerson Mnangagwa cannot trust to work with him or to leave him also as a retired general. He cannot trust him at this very crucial moment. He would only breathe, because the project of Mnangagwa, the bigger project, is to convert Zimbabwe from a republic into a dynasty. And all the paperwork, all the framework is in place at the moment. That is why there is a guy masquerading as Monu Mutapa, winning court cases left, right, and center. He court cases to control Zimbabwe. Don't think that is not a parallel program of Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa created parallel structures. They began to chant about this 2030 term extension. They began to mobilize. And what is happening today, he has actually succeeded in terms of CAP 3. Remember, all these CAPs have been from 1 up to 3, have been the successes of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Whilst people who are supposed to counter this have been sitting, have been watching, whilst Mnangagwa has been advancing. It must be noted that the fallout between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga began in 2018. After disastrous performance in the elections, and the retired military generals telling Mnangagwa that you are not popular. We need a person in ZANU-PF that is popular, because we are stockholders in ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF has to be kept in political power, but in order for peace to prevail in Zimbabwe, it must be led by a popular individual that is loved and supported by the people of Zimbabwe. They noticed that it will be very difficult for Emmerson Mnangagwa to sustain his hold in power. Let me say also, it would be difficult even for the wife of Emmerson Mnangagwa to sustain his hold in power. I'm not saying Chiwenga would be defeated. I am saying that the more he delays, the more he will suffer a lot of casualties. You don't want within your camp to lose a lot of soldiers whilst you are in a war. It's quite clear Chiwenga is in a war, and he is needed to act very, very fast. And I'm sure he has had plenty time to plan. I don't think now it is also still, it's the time of fine-tuning the plan and reacting as a matter of urgency, because Mnangagwa plans and implement. That is what we have seen. He plans and implement, he advances. And even some people who are opposing him, most of them, we are seeing them moving towards him, because I've said people in ZANU-PF, they are just opportunists. Don't trust anyone in ZANU-PF. Anyone who has actually worked in ZANU-PF, don't trust him. That is why you hear the girlfriend of Themba Mliso, who has been saying a lot of things about Mnangagwa, now praising CAP 3, saying there is no one who is going to actually take over political power from Mnangagwa. You can tell something has been done to her. She has been lured. They know her weakest point, and they actually went after that. Don't ever think they would never punish them. They would punish them, but it is the nature of ZANU-PF people. They cannot be trusted. They are vulnerable. politically. They are very weak. When you put money in front of them, you have decisively dealt with them. So for the generals, time is of essence and importance, and also people are losing actually patience at this crucial. They need people, they need the support of people in everything they do to remain relevant. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Is let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast.